And here is the leaderboard. This is the fifth and final round of the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Mark O'Meara leading by 1. It'll be decided this afternoon on the back nine.
On 100 acres of land in the California desert blooms an oasis of love and care, the Eisenhower Medical Center. Over the years, the center has received more than $14 million from the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Chrysler's sponsorship dates back to 1965 and has helped to establish the Eisenhower Memorial Hospital, the Betty Ford Center, and the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center. I'm Jim Holden. Chrysler Corporation and all of our dealers are pleased to once again sponsor this wonderful tournament and to play a role in helping the PGA Tour prove that anything is possible.
Of the minivan is now complete.
Get $500 cash back on new Plymouth Voyagers.
I almost signed a contract to play professional baseball, but the only thing I ever wanted to do was be a golfer. I didn't want to be an actor or a fireman or a lawyer or any of those things that kids get in their mind. I wanted to be a golfer. And I think to be good at what you do, you really have to somewhere down inside you think that you really want to be the best. It's not a physical game as you might think. All of the other things, the more you play and the better you get and the more you're around it, I don't know if there is a physical side. I think it's all mental. You don't concentrate on the golf course from the minute you walk on the tee till the minute you walk off the 18th. You should enjoy your walk. You should love your environment. You should smell the grass and hear the wind blow through the trees and hear the birds. We're all very lucky, and we know it. And our responsibility is to give back and keep it as great as it is now and to make it even better if we can. We're all responsible, and we want to give as much as we can.
The Bob Hope Chrysler Classic is brought to you by Plymouth and your local Plymouth dealers who invite you to test drive a Plymouth today. By Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. And by Shearson Lehman Brothers, the firm for the serious investor. Talk with us.
Drives on water, you know. And now welcome to the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic.
And now let's go out to the 11th.
Pretty straight putt here. It's just hard to get it to the hole.
Get out!
Big good putt one.
Mark O'Meara with that left for his par. And he remains at 27 under. Corey Pavin, who is a shot back at 26 under for his birdie.
Got to be careful here. This putt will get away from you if you don't watch out. It starts turning now. Good speed.
We'll move forward to the 13th. And Ray Floyd has a birdie attempt. He is currently 3 back at 24 under.
Bob, you mentioned that of all the years you watched pros play golf, that round of golf Ray Floyd played yesterday was one of the finest you've ever seen, huh?
It really was, John. I never had the chance to play with you when you were really hot over there in Tucson and Phoenix when you were kicking it around there at 61.
Not too bad.
Did he make it?
Tim Simpson on the right, making his birdie at 11.
Well, that's a good putt there.
Now back to Raymond. And he smooths it in. And that is 3 birdies in a row, 11, 12, and 13 for Ray Floyd. And he is hot again on the backside like he was yesterday.
That's beautiful.
And this is the leaderboard. Mark O'Meara at 27 under, Tim Simpson at 26, now tied with Corey Pavin, just a shot off of the pace. Floyd, 25, along with Scott Hoke, Couples, and McAllister. Let's go to Mark Rolfing.
Corey Pavin with a little work left here, Charlie. The putt is up the hill, but certainly not a gimme. Johnny mentioned Corey did not put it in the correct place on this green. He was above the hole. Corey 4 under for the day.
This putt does break.
Safely in, though.
Mark Rolfing, has that been a very quiet threesome today?
It really has, Charlie. You know, it's interesting. In talking to the players on the putting green this morning, everybody pretty much felt like this was going to boil down to a putting contest. That being the case, Corey Pavin and Mark O'Meara are certainly 2 of the best putters on the PGA Tour. On the other hand, Tim Simpson has dramatically improved his putting over the past year. Has gone to a new putter this year after winning over $800,000 with the old one last year, and he's putting quite a bit better, as evidenced by the birdie we just saw him make at 11. But these 3 are definitely all business this afternoon.
At the par 4 12th, as we kind of ease over. Here's Fred Couples. He is 4 back at 23 under.
This golf course, Charlie and Bob, you know, if you get it in the fairway out there about 240, 250, you're just full of short irons, and you could really tear this course apart. But the fairways, some of them are very tight. You didn't have any trouble with the driver yesterday, did you?
No. It didn't talk to me.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what we have the next, you know, just over an hour and see what happens in this golf. And today I think that we're going to see a lot more birdies coming in. Don't you think, Charlie?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Raymond Floyd sneaking up the board there, your playing partner.
Red Couples.
Red Couples, no problem. Huh?
Boy, he should win a lot, shouldn't he?
He does win a lot.
Let's go to Roger Maltby. Roger?
He hadn't won that much.
Money, we're talking.
Great. Oh, yeah.
Lots of money.
Great.
Doesn't have enough
He
W's.
can really hit that ball.
Jump in here anytime, Roger.
There we have Raymond teeing off on 14. I didn't want to interrupt Mr. Hope. And we can't really follow where his ball is going. No, I think he's laid up with the 3-wood. He's left it back short of the bunkers. We've had some players do that. He's in a great position, but he'll have to hit another 3-wood pretty solid to get it here.
This is the final round of the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. The birdie barrage continues. We'll be back in a moment.
It pays to be selective by Shearson Lehman Brothers. According to Institutional Investors' recent research team poll, we're #1 in investment research. Of the nearly 7,000 publicly traded companies in the U.S., we identify what we believe to be the 1,000 most important. Of these, we recommend only 115. Which stocks survive our scrutiny? Talk with us. Shearson Lehman Brothers.
Chocolate is crunches when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. Crunches.
When the insurance company didn't come through after the fire, we declared bankruptcy. When we tried to start up again, we called AT&T. They said, Your company track record makes it impossible for us to do business at this time. So we called MCI. They said, no problem. We'll work out a payment schedule you can handle. Now we're rolling again. Guess who called? AT&T. I told them, your company track record with us makes it impossible for us to do business at this time.
Welcome back. We'd like to kind of coordinate you with the way that the play will be on the backside today. This is the next to last threesome. Fred Couples, Blaine McAllister, and Scott Hoke. The final threesome on the golf course is Mark O'Meara, Tim Simpson, and Corey Pavin. We will center our coverage there along with Ray Floyd. Earlier this week, Mark Rolfing visited with Tim Simpson about the recent tragedy in his family. And now let's go back to that conversation.
Could be a lot. It's been a tough last 5 weeks for me. My brother-in-law was murdered in Atlanta Tuesday of the Tournament of Champions, and I got the call and immediately flew home and obviously withdrew. So I came back and kind of half-heartedly tried to play Tucson in Hawaii, and I shouldn't have. Hawaii, I played okay. Tucson, I missed the cut by a shot. But I've got to kind of try to put it behind me and try to be a man about it and be supportive to my wife, Kathy, and her sister, Laura, and her mom. You know, they're the ones that need the support, and I think that the stronger I can be for them and just go do the job I'm supposed to do and hopefully win, you know, maybe it'll make them feel better. We can't bring John back, but it was a terrible tragedy.
Were it not for Ryder Cup points, you might well have not played here this week. Are you thinking of the Ryder Cup that heavily already?
Definitely. I've been so down, and I'm okay once I get on the golf course. You know, I was telling my wife Kathy about it last night. When I'm off the golf course, I'm just down constantly, you know, and I know I can't bring John back, but it's like, why did all of this happen? And I just don't even feel like playing. And I know that, you know, I've got to be a man, and I've got to say, well, you know, he's gone. I have to play. I have to do what I do best. And the Ryder Cup obviously is the biggest goal right now for me, other than winning this week, hopefully. But it would be a tremendous, tremendous honor to play for my country in anything and hopefully to win. I think we're going to have a hell of a team this year.
And during that videotape of the conversation, that was the shot of Corey Pavin. Now we go back live.
130 yards. Tim Simpson, middle of the fairway at the 12th. Pin cut all the way in the back today. And that's a good shot there, Johnny Miller. With the pin all the way in the back, it's really tough to get it back there today.
Well, you hit a 9-iron, Mark, probably?
They're hitting 9-irons. Little bit of a breeze coming up in their face right now.
That pin, you don't want to miss club long, like you say, because it'll get back in that trampled grass, and it's a tough little delicate chip, so.
Boy, you sure don't. The flag is cut right in the middle of a shadow from a big palm tree back there, so you cannot see the bottom of the flag from where they are in the fairway. Here's Mark O'Meara, 128 yards.
Speed right one.
Must be a good one.
And that'll spin back down to the valley in the center of the green.
Raymond Floyd playing a 1-iron from 245. Second shot on the par 5, 14th. He's hung it a little bit to the right. He's gotten a nice break. The ball's hit somebody in the gallery and kept it from going down a steep embankment, so he has a good chip shot straight up the green.
And in the final round of the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic, 7 golfers within 4 shots of the lead.
The Japanese and Germans created a new class of luxury cars. We thought that was a good idea. They engineered many with sophisticated engines and driver's side airbag standard. We thought that was a good idea. They priced them higher than most people's annual salary. We thought that was a lousy idea. Chrysler's LeBaron sedan, America's new class of luxury.
Now, with $1,000 cash back, Chrysler LeBaron sedan is even easier to own.
For 75 years, the workers' compensation system has helped protect America's workers. But today, rising medical and claims costs and time-consuming litigation are threatening the effectiveness of the system in many states. Employers feel it, workers feel it, their families. It's as if now, when a worker has an accident, everybody gets hurt. Help strengthen workers' compensation. Business and labor, let's do it together.
Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it toget Pinnacle Gold, longer than anyone thought humanly possible.
Mark O'Meara, 27 under, Corey Pavin and Tim Simpson at 26 under par. Ray Floyd, Scott Hoke at 25, Fred Couples at 24, Blaine McAllister at 23 under par. And this, the final round of the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Here's Mark O'Meara. Let's go out to Mark Rolfing.
Mark O'Meara did not get the second shot back into the back part of the green here. He's putting it up the hill now, Charlie. From about 24 feet. From the sunlight into a shadow. And tough to judge the speed, Johnny Miller, when you're going into the darkness like that.
Now we'll move over to the 13th green and Fred Couples. Par 3, 204 yards. Fred with a double bogey at the 4th hole, birdie at 5, a birdie at 6, birdie at 8, at 10, and at 12. And a long birdie attempt here. Fred's 11th year on the tour. Doesn't seem as if he's been out that long. 4 wins, including the 1984 Players. And he leaves himself some work left. Mark O'Meara made his par putt. Fairways hit today, 6 of 10, greens in regulation, 9 of 13 for Fred Couples. And now to the 14th and Roger Maltby.
Raymond Floyd with a chip shot. With a chip shot for eagle, which would tie him for the lead. One of absolutely the finest chippers in the history of golf. I would think this is going to get a real chance. Try to settle down a little bit. It's a nice shot. About 5 feet past the hole. Back to Rolfing at 12.
Corey Pavin to tie for the lead. 18 feet. Up the hill. Had a look for a moment there. I mentioned at the top, Charlie and Johnny, Corey did not get off to a good start. Struggled on the front side, but starting at the 6th, made 4 consecutive birdies and really turned it on. He's going to go ahead and clean it up. But now Tim Simpson with an excellent chance here. He was the only one of the 3 to get the second shot back deep enough in the green. Fairly level putt, Johnny, through the shadow. May fall a little bit to his right. Mentioned earlier, Tim made a putter change at the end of the year, went to a more dead-headed putter than the type he'd used before. Told me he felt like it was going to help him putt better in the major championships, which he's pointing toward this year.
You're looking at Simpson. On the left is Raymond Floyd. And his birdie attempt. Simpson makes his. Ray Floyd still stalking his right now.
Ray Floyd has chipped past the hole. He's left himself about a 5-foot putt for his birdie to get within 1 of the lead. This has been a putt he's got to keep inside the hole. I have seen this putt missed by those fellows that have played it outside the cup. It's left center firm. And Mr. Floyd with the birdie and a great round going today. He's played this golf course in 15 under par the last 2 days to date.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, L-E-S-T-L-E-S, Nestle's makes the very best. I need something chocolatey. Nestle's quick. And it's gotta be something from Nestle's. Nestle's makes the very best. Sweet dreams are made of this. Alpine White's the very best. Crunches, when it crunches, that's why I love Nestle's Crunch. And I love the raisinets. Sweet crunches when it crunches raisinets. N-E-S-T-L-E-S. Nestle's makes the very best.
A little brains, a little luck, and a lot of late nights. A good family, a good spot, and some good advice. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G is standing behind me. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G is standing behind me.
Next Saturday, All-American scoring machine Mark Macon leads the Temple Owls against Notre Dame.
Mark O'Meara, Tim Simpson now at 27 under. We'll go out to the 13th, the par 3. Mark Rolfing.
207 yards today, Charlie, for Corey Pavin to the flag. Corey at 4 under for the day. This is a 3-iron. Started it to the right side of the green, and that's where it stays. Pretty good shot, though. Moments ago here, Tim Simpson coming off consecutive birdies at 11 and 12, and good-looking shot by Tim Simpson just to the right of the flag. And he gets it pin high, so he'll have another good birdie attempt here at 13. And now back live, Mark O'Meara. He has led all day until just a moment ago when Tim Simpson birdied the 12th.
Quiet, please.
This ball is all over the flag. A great-looking shot here, just a little long.
On the tee at the par 3 15th, Raymond Floyd, hottest golfer on the course right now, coming up birdies on his last 4 holes. Little left, just off the putting surface on the fringe. As we head back to the tower at 18.
And now a chance to visit with NBC's new innovation. Johnny Miller has stepped out back onto the sky tee with Bob Hope, and you have a helpful hint for Bob.
Yeah, it's really a pleasure to be here with Bob. You know, a lot of people don't know it, but Bob Hope was a great player for many years, played a single-digit handicap, and in 1951 tried to qualify for the British Amateur, and I've seen him hit many fabulous shots like we saw yesterday on the 18th hole, but I did notice yesterday, Bob, on a couple of your shots, your tee shots, that you were doing 2 things wrong. Why don't you just let me show you here, and then you'll try it as soon as I get done. Okay. One of the most common things that people do wrong, especially as they get older, is instead of playing the ball pretty much off your left heel with the woods, you start getting the ball forward because it feels like you have more time to generate club head speed. And what that does makes you hit the ball to the left or behind it or top the ball or hit a weak slice. So we need to get your ball back in your stance. And then the last thing that I really notice among players as they get a little bit older is that they don't turn their hip and their shoulder. They just get here and...
Leave that get a little bit
okay,
over out of there.
okay, I'll drop the get it holder, but take the club back here like this without moving their shoulder. And what you want to do in golf is turn this and get behind the ball and get the club up here. Will that break your back? I want you to try that. Let me see you try that. Come on, Bob. Get the ball back in your stance a little bit off your left heel. Right there is perfect.
Up at Jeremy Ranch.
Okay, let's see it. Turn it behind it. Turn it. Get it up. Oh, what a swing. You hit it so good you knocked 2 balls. What a guy. That's perfect.
Thank you, John, thank you very much.
A visit to the sky tee and a look down on the sky tee behind our perch from the Fuji plant. And let's go out to Mike Rolfing, Mike.
I know one thing, Charlie. We'll see a lot of great shots out here today, but I'll never see one any better than the one Bob Hope hit yesterday at 18. That was really something. Now at the 13th green, Corey Pavin stalking a birdie putt. And Johnny Miller, we've talked about birdies. I guess Johnny's out and back, Charlie, but I want you to ask him when he comes in, What does he think on a day like today in his prime, let's say back in the mid-70s when he was winning so many tournaments and shooting such low scores? What does he think he could shoot out here today?
All right, Mark, he's just getting hooked up.
Well, I just came on, Mark. You know, I looked at this course and how beautiful its condition it is in, and of course the weather is the best I've ever seen it down here. And I really thought, you know, I thought that when I was younger, I would have had a good shot at something in the 50s, of course, 59 or something. But I'm not saying I would have done it, but I was just drooling when I came here, and I really thought one of the players or a couple of the players might come close to doing it or do it. And of course, we have $1 million bonus now on turf for anybody shooting in the 50s. But you know, I can't say enough for the conditions these guys are playing in. Good golf, though. Great golf. We're going to see a new record this week.
Corey Pavin will have to settle for par here at 13.
Raymond Floyd looking for his 5th straight birdie. He's got a lot of work with this one, though. He's on the green at the par 3 15th.
Joel's, he got that famous look in his eyes.
Almost like he can do anything he wants, Johnny.
I'm telling you, when he gets that in the look in his eye, he might even scare Jack Nicklaus a little.
Come on.
Most of the players have been leaving it outside that left edge, looking for a bigger break than is actually there.
Good putt, though.
Very good roll. As we go back to Mark Rolfing at 13.
And the co-leader, Tim Simpson, Joel, got a birdie putt here down the hill.
Mark, he's made a ton of good putts today. You know, for a guy who doesn't like to talk about his putting, I'm telling you, he's made more putts than anybody we've seen.
He really has putted well. You know, Johnny, he seems quite a bit more focused to me today than he was in the round out here on Friday. He shot 66 out here, but I did the interview with him afterwards when we talked about his family tragedy. But even on Friday, he seemed to be not quite with it all the way. Today he is.
He's just been talking about how rusty he is. The thing I've been impressed with him is the fact that he's sort of insatiable. He wants more things. He wants more out of his game, and that's a good sign. He's not satisfied with just winning a lot of money. He wants to start winning titles. This is Fred Couples here, of course. Famous swing.
Freddie Couples has a 5-iron from 180 yards. He lived up to his name of Boom Boom. He's got it directly at the flag, right over the top of the pin and just through the green.
Roger, how far was that drive?
I'm going to say he had to hit the ball a good 310, 315. Terrific drive. Back to Mark Rolfing.
At the 13th green, Mark O'Meara for sole possession of the lead. 16 feet down the hill, not a lot of break. Ooh, but for a little more speed, I think he'd have had it.
Yeah, it broke a little more than he thought.
Co-leaders at 27 under par. What a difference a day makes. Peter Jacobson, the defending champion, just finished today with a 68, 18 under. He won last year at 21 under.
The road your business travels is changing at breakneck speed, but you can take advantage of change to be more competitive with computing and communication services from EDS. EDS focuses technology on business goals, creates ways to improve quality and save time, makes it all work together. We can even help you manage it. You can't control change, but you can take advantage of change with EDS.
Building security for today and tomorrow is a fragile task. You need to protect what you've worked for, your home and car, a business, while investing in your dreams, college for your children, a comfortable retirement. But it can all be washed away without the right foundation. Kemper, for insurance, for investments. Kemper is the name to build on.
6-time Player of the Year Tom Watson, Craig Stadler, and a field of golfing greats tee off at the Shearson Lehman Brothers Open next weekend on NBC.
Take your time, man. Scott Hoke playing his third here at 14. He missed his tee shot short and to the right of the fairway bunker and had to lay up, as did his playing partner, Blaine McAllister. Scott has got about 80 yards. I'm sure it's a sand iron shot, and we'll see if he tries to fly it on top of the hump and hold it, or if he'd like to skip it over the ridge that's about 5 paces short of the green, short of the pin.
In this yardage, he almost has to go up on top, I think, unless he's hitting a pitching wedge.
He's pulled it quite a bit. It's in the fringe just past hole high.
Can be a very disappointing hole for him here if he doesn't birdie.
Corey Pavin has hooked the ball here on 16. It's a tough hole for Corey. Corey loves to fade the ball, and he's turned the ball over right to left, and is going to have himself a bit of a problem.
Might have mustard on that one.
Yeah, over by the hot dog stand.
Very square setup right here, playing a slight hook. It's a good sign when they don't watch it. That usually means they've routined it. Well, that's a good one, Roger?
Oh, that's really good. That is perfect. He's got it right up the left side, Johnny. He's going to have a bit of a hanging line, a downhill line. A moment ago, Blaine McAllister's third shot, about 80 yards. Good-looking swing. Releases perfectly. Holy cow! I thought he had it. That looked like a putt going in there. My goodness, bad luck. That could have gone in. Timmy Simpson. This is a good setup for Timmy.
No.
Looks like he's left it right, though.
Got quick on that one, Roger.
He sure did. He got across the line a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he got real fast at the top.
Yes, he did.
This the final round. The Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Mark O'Meara and Tim Simpson are tied at 27 under. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
February 1988, Denver, Colorado. They were ordinary people whose lives were about to be changed forever. Get up. When the most dangerous man in Denver history hit the street.
They had him and they lost it.
Together, they rose to the challenge.
They don't stop him, we will.
And became heroes. So unbelievable it had to be true. The Chase on NBC tonight.
Mrs. McKinnon, it's Joan Fields.
Oh, yes.
About Jenny's report card.
Is there a problem? Jenny's a wonderful student.
You see, she wasn't always. I don't know what kind of magic you're dishing out in that classroom, but I just wanted to say thank you.
You've got to make the choice to share your heart and voice.
Thanks, that means a lot to me.
We're all connected, New York telephone.
We're counting on Manuel Gonzalez to help design the future. While in high school, he participated in a Rockwell career training program to give him hands-on experience, inspiration to go on to college, and a career in engineering. It's one of hundreds of ways Rockwell encourages American innovation and leadership through quality education. Emphasize education. It's our future.
This is a long way from downtown Chicago. Riding mass transit, working late every night. You finally got the raise that got you the gold card, that got you the phone number, that arranges your weekends wherever you want them. But you always want them in Montana. The gold card, only from American Express. Don't leave home without it.
The real-life pilot who caught a murderer, tonight at 11 on News 4 New York.
The Bob Hope Chrysler Classic is brought to you by Tommy Armour. More and more fine players are choosing the 845 S irons by Tommy Armour. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. And by USF&G Insurance, protecting your business, home, auto, and life. USF&G, standing behind the USA.
The record at the PGA Tour's 90-hole event, both Las Vegas and here, is 27 under par. And Mark O'Meara, Tim Simpson have already tied that, and we have 5 holes remaining. Let's go out to Roger Maltby.
Thank you, Charlie. We have Freddie Couples over the green, chipping for an eagle that he needs sorely to get back in. Scott Hope from the fringe a moment ago for his birdie to get to 26 under par, and he's hit it just a little too firmly through the break. Scott, I'm sure, is very disappointed with par here. Blaine McAllister tapping in his birdie here. Mark, what does Corey Pavin have here?
Actually, Roger, even though he's missed the fairway to the left, he's got the kind of lie that he likes. It's an uphill lie. There's a tree about 30 yards in front of him that's maybe 25 feet high. And he's going to try a wood. He needs to get it up pretty quick, but he's got a lofted fairway wood here. He'll need to really stay behind the ball. He's got 240 yards.
He won't go around it, huh, Mark?
I don't think so. He was looking up through the tree, Johnny, to see how thick it was, just in case he were to hit it.
Corey is one of the few players on tour that like to work the ball, hits a lot of little shots like Trevino and Sanders type swing, so nothing would surprise me here. He's got all the shots in the bag.
Well, he certainly got the lie to draw it.
He went right over it.
Yeah, he's caught the front right bunker, Mark.
Tough bunker shot.
It is a
there.
tough bunker shot. It's a long bunker shot, and he's going to have to carry it up across a knob or hit right at the base of the knob and run it over. It'd be very tough to get close to the hole.
We talked before the show, Roger, about the pivotal holes. I certainly think 14 here is one of those holes. You talked about how narrow the driving area was. It's the kind of a hole where if you drive it in play, an eagle's a definite possibility, but if you miss the fairway here, you know, you really are looking at making a 5. It's a tough birdie then.
You do, and it's a difficult second shot as well, Mark, in that the green is slightly perched, so if you should miss it with your second, if you don't get fortunate and hit a spectator and keep the ball near the green, it can get away from you and leave you with a very difficult pitch.
Stand, please.
You do not want to short side the ball on this hole. You do not want to miss long or to left. You feel much better working with the green from the right.
Mark O'Meara with a downhill lie in the fairway. Played for a hook and did not get it. May catch the right part of the green.
It's carried the bunker and run off into the back right fringe and has stayed in the shortcut, so he can putt the ball from there.
Roger, you could probably hit tee shots all day long and not have one stop where Mark O'Meara's ball did. It was right on the downslope at that narrowest part of the fairway.
Awkward. A hanging lie.
Tim Simpson has driven it to the right. He's got 2 palm trees in front of him. A safe shot would be to go left of both of them. Try and cut it back, but he may try and go between them.
What's he got, about 210?
Right at about 212.
212.
Fly or lie.
Is he going for the field goal, trying to go between them?
I think he is. Oh, just a good-looking shot here, Roger. Needs to cuddle
pretty if it gets up. Oh, it caught the front bunker, front left bunker. He again will have a very difficult bunker shot.
This is the final round, the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. And right now, Mark O'Meara and Tim Simpson tied for the lead at 27 under with Floyd and Pavin a shot back.
So don't tell me about waiting. What if we'd waited for the other guys on driver's airbags? You remember that? Too soon, too expensive. The public doesn't want them. You remember? We put them in every car we build in the U.S. And standard. And we didn't even price for them. And now I got a pile of letters saying, thanks for saving my life. And other guys in the industry are saying, we'll have them standard too. Maybe in 1994, maybe 1995. Then what did we hear? Wait on airbags for minivans. Nobody puts an airbag in a minivan. It's too tough to engineer them. Well, we did it anyway. No waiting, they're here. Sure, people still have to wear seatbelts with a minivan airbag. So what? Everybody should wear a seatbelt. No, some things you wait for, some things you don't. Minivans with airbags, you don't wait.
My husband, Elliot, he's an inventor. He's made a very good life for both of us. Last year, this big company paid a lot of money for one of his ideas. Elliot even thought about opening his own company, but in the end, we decided to invest the money. Besides, I'm not sure Elliot's cut out to work in an office anyway.
To invest tax-free with John Newbean and Company, call your financial advisor or this number.
A look at the leaderboard and a note, Ed Doherty, Richard Zokol, Ed Fiore have already finished today at 21 under. Now, last year that would have put them in a playoff with Peter Jacobson. This year, not even in the top 10. That shot, of course, and joining us again is the Fuji USA blimp piloted by Captain Scott Daniker. and Gary Fabian. Now let's go to Joe Myers.
Charlie, while we were away, Raymond Floyd on the fairway for his second shot. The par 4 16. Just a pitch across the water hazard. And he has that birdie away. Going into a three-way tie for the lead as we head back to 14 at Mark Rolfing.
Corey Pavin from the green side bunker. He's got a good 120 feet back to the pin. Pretty good shot. It'll be about 12 feet below the hole, but as you talked before, Johnny, very tough shot from that bunker. Back to you, Joel.
We move to the tee at the par 3 15th. Fred Couples, the first up. Most of the players today using a 6-iron on the 165-yard par 3. Maybe he needed a 7-iron as we head back to Mark Rolfing.
Tim Simpson could not have a worse lie here. Not only is his ball in the top of the bunker, but it's buried in the top of the bunker.
Well, you can see how much sand they pushed up into that lip, Mark. It's almost a shame they do that, but that must have a 1.5 feet of fresh sand in there. Look at that. Look at the hole his feet have made.
He's got to grip all the way down to the steel, I think, Johnny, and probably try and maybe shut the face a little bit, get that leading edge in. Very tough to get the ball back to the hole here.
It's try impossible. He could hit this as hard as his drive, and he'd be lucky if he hits it 20 feet. Yeah, that's pretty good. Must have hit the ball. That's a good shot.
For a share of the lead, Raymond Floyd for birdie. Give it another rotation or two, please. Tough. Most of the players, Johnny, have been leaving that outside left. He had the right line. It was a fairly straight putt.
Well, that's one thing you notice as you get older. It seems like when you get down to crunch time, you have to be real careful not to start leaving it short. I don't know what it is, the mechanism in the brain, but hopefully he won't do that again, but that does happen.
Johnny, we talked about how important it was to drive the ball in the fairway here at 14. Mark O'Meara did, and he has by far the easiest third shot.
All right.
Pitching it across the top of the green.
Well, he just seems like he's had one of those tournaments where he's always in cruise control. I mean, it just never seems to be a major problem. This is important up and in, though. Playing it off his right foot.
We're back to the green at 15. Scott Hoke, 2 off the lead for birdie. Tough. Not a lot of big breaks on these putts, but still just outside the edge.
Tim Simpson now back at the 14th. Looking at an uphill putt from a good 25 feet. And again, Johnny, this hole a pivotal hole. Actually the easiest hole on the golf course, even though it's a par 5. It's played to a 4.36 stroke average during the first 4 rounds, so played closer to a par 4 than a 5.
Well, let's see if he can make a great up and in here. This will be an up and in of his lifetime.
And that's like giving one away here.
Well, especially after the good break on the tee shot. You know, he hits it over there. It looks like it's sort of in jail, and he has a nice opening, and then hits a good shot and gets penalized with a bad break.
Live now at 15, gentlemen. Freddie Couples to save par. And Fred, with that 2-footer, stays within 2 of the leaders as we head back to Mark Rolfing at 14.
Corey Pavin surveying a birdie putt of about 18 feet here. Hit a pretty good bunker shot. He had a much better lie than Tim Simpson did.
He was also on the upslope quite a bit, Mark, which made it very difficult. If it had been in the flat of the bunker, they could have routined that shot, but they're both sort of unfortunate there.
Corey, an excellent putter from this range. 26 under. Mark O'Meara with a near gimme for birdie, so he would need this to stay within 1.
Unusual grip here, as you can see. Got that left thumb on top of his right fingers. Watch out.
Boy, that's a great 4 there, Johnny.
Right in the heart.
You know, a player of Marco Mira's caliber, you really don't want to give him a 2-shot lead with only 4 holes to go.
Boy, what a tournament we have, huh, Mark?
Oh, we really
great.
do. There's been such a great ebb and flow, you know, some important putts made, important putts missed, just in this group. And, of course, with Ray Floyd, Blaine McAllister. And, of course, if Marco Mira were to get his putt in, he'd be at 28 under, already surpassing the tournament record. But here's Tim Simpson for par. He gets it. He'll stay at 27 under, but Marco Mira should move to 28. Tremendous tempo this player has. Never speeds it up, never slows it down. Seems like everything's always the same, Johnny.
I love his practice strokes. Better than most guys' real one.
We'll be back with more of the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic.
If all you need is a room for the night, any of these will do. Of course, the accommodations have a sameness to them, and the hospitality, it's pretty much no, you can't. There's a better choice. Radisson, with 250 hotels around the world, as individual as the people who stay in them. And every Radisson has a yes, I can spirit. So why let a big impersonal place treat you like a number?
Why get a room when you can get a Radisson?
A little brains, a little luck, and a lot of late nights. A good family, a good spot, and some good advice. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G is standing behind me. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G is standing behind me.
Dear USA, there is a city where marketplaces are full of wonders, where giants play, troubadours entertain, and elves and dragons dance together. A magical city where the friends you make are friends for life. It's Barcelona. It's in Spain.
You're looking right now at the tee shot of Corey Pavin. How about a Chrysler LeBaron, maybe? An ace on the par 3 15. You drive it home. It's yours. Corey Pavin only inches away from a brand new car. Is he ever red hot coming off a second place finish at the AT&T Pebble Beach in his 8th year out of UCLA? And there's the car that Corey almost took the keys to. He was really right on top of the pin. Sensational shot. Corey Pavin only a shot off the lead of the gentleman on the tee right now, Marco Mira. Right now is a new record for a 5-round tourney. The record set right here at the Bob Hope at 27 under. O'Meara at 28 under. Maybe his mindset was a little off last week. Didn't make the cut for O'Meara last week at the AT&T Pebble Beach. But for so many years, of course, the Hope before the old Crosby, which is now the AT&T. So his game rounding into great shape in the Southern California desert. Well, earlier today on NBC was the NBA All-Star game. No overtime there, but we can't provide any guarantees from down here in the Southern California desert. Marco Mira, his average over the first 4 rounds, 66 each round. Best finish a couple of years ago. And a tie for 4th. With a 7-iron in his hands, trying to negotiate the 165-yard par 3. And like so many of the other golfers, playing it safe and playing it over the left side.
Joe Myers, he was right between clubs there. We saw him change a couple of times before he hit the ball. At first had a 6, then went back to the 7. Tried to hit a little too hard, I think, turned it over.
Right now, Mark, we're looking at the tee shot of Corey Pavin.
Playing a little cut shot in there.
Get in the hole. Go in.
Boy, he was talking to
Do you
him.
think he liked it from the outset?
He's got that look in his eye right now, Johnny Miller. That putt back there at 14 was a big one.
In reality, Mark O'Meara made a little bit of an error there. Normally, right pins, you take one more club and cut it in there, add a little loft. Left pins, you go ahead and take one less and hit the hook. And he went with really the shot that goes to the left pin. That's where he hit it. It was an important shot, obviously, for Tim Simpson. Is he going with the 7-iron?
He's bringing it from the right also, back toward the middle of the green.
You can see that ball bouncing left with that little bit of hook spin. You really want to be cutting it in there if you have that shot in your bag. And Corey Pavin's got more shots than any of these guys. He really does, maybe besides Floyd.
Hello once again. I'm Charlie Jones along with Johnny Miller. A great golf tournament here. Just the beginning of the golf tour for NBC. And in September, we will have the honor of covering the Ryder Cup. And that's on the minds of many of the golfers here already.
I can't wait to me, that's a commentator's dream, that tournament. And also, I think with the way we've played recently in the last 2 or 3 Ryder Cups, it's really on everybody's mind in the U.S. side. They think that might even be more important than a major for them.
Now, the standings, the point standings for the Ryder Cup team go through the PGA Championship. The Ryder Cup point standings give you an idea of what they look like right now. 10 will qualify, and then the captain, Dave Stockton, will have 2 picks. And 1 pick would be the PGA champion as an automatic member if he's not already in.
Right. Well, it's an awful good-looking team there, and we have a lot of great players to choose from. But you can see the guys that are on the bubble there, guys like Morgan, Beck, O'Meara, Mize, and Pavin. And Pavin's going to make a good bid to move up, so is O'Meara.
So that'll be the story, one of the stories that we will be following throughout our golf coverage, the 1991 Ryder Cup, Kiowa Island, South Carolina. Now let's go to Bob Trumpy at 17. Bob?
Raymond Floyd, fairway of 17, 116 to the pin.
Yeah, let's see if he can get over that coming up short on the last hole. Good birdie opportunity here. Now, Bob?
Absolutely. That's left of the pin, but excellent shot by Raymond Floyd. Trying to get it to 8 under par today. He shoots 64 here yesterday. Obviously, this course to Raymond's liking. And we move back to 16 and Joel Myers.
Bob Scott Hoke with his second shot. It's a definite birdie hole. They have to approach 15 and 16 the same way, and a nice approach by Hoke from the position to the far right side of the fairway. So
he's
Scott Hoke,
not as pleased as you are, Joel, about that one, but I guess he had to pay the price being in that light rough, don't you think?
Exactly that, Johnny. And not that he had to deal with that many limbs hanging from a couple of the palm trees, but yesterday he told me that he could not capitalize on the par 5s, and that has hurt him once again today, as we just saw on the par 5 14th. So he did not take advantage of that short par 5.
It's true.
We're looking right now at Mark O'Meara and the way he's been playing. We talked to Mark before the start of today's round about his relaxation.
I think looks are always deceiving. Anytime you're playing in a professional tournament, I think all the guys, they realize, sure, there's a little bit of nervousness there, and all of us want to win, and it takes a lot to win. It takes good play, it takes good putting, it takes good fortune. All those assets come into play when you're trying to win a golf tournament, and that's no exception today.
It's a long try for birdie. Well, he certainly fools me. He always looks like he's relaxed out there. He's got the lead by a shot over Pavin and Simpson. So he has that left for par, but a more difficult proposition now for Freddie Couples as we move up to the green at 16. It's a long try for birdie. Fred used a 3-wood off the tee on the short par 4, but he hooked it. He pulled it a little bit to the left. He was down on the slope, had a tough second shot.
Joel, the problem he has here is that second cut is right on the edge of his line, and if he bumps into it, he'll come up 10 or 12 feet short. He was going to chip it over it, but I think he's going to try to just skin it by, and it'll probably end up a little left. Can you see that, the higher cut?
Right, and a long roll on that fringe.
Yeah, that's tough. Usually they try to hit it about 5-6 feet harder than you really even think you should. Most likely he'll come up short here.
He gave it a good roll.
Well, he did the right thing.
But he's got a lot of work left to save par.
Well, he probably thought of all those things we were thinking of.
Back to the green at 15, the par 3. We just saw Mark O'Meara miss his try for birdie. This is Tim Simpson now, trying to move into a tie for the lead with O'Meara. He's only one shot back.
Should have learned something from the previous putt.
Not a big break, Johnny, at all. Everybody's been leaving it outside left. As you could see, hardly any break at all.
You were right. He's saying, what the heck? How come that didn't break? But I thought he might have learned something, really, from O'Meara's putt.
Johnny, I think another thing is Tim's ball took a little bit of a hop right off the putter face, and as you know, when it's not on the grass for the entire roll, it won't break as much.
I've noticed that on several of his putts. He's been making quite a few, but his ball hops a little more than O'Meara's putting.
He's got a good 3 feet left here now, Joel.
And Mark Rolfe, and I was over there this morning watching some putts. I have seen a number of players with comebacks for par, just like Tim Simpson right now, lip the cup.
On the top side?
Yes.
Not on the low side, right?
No, on the top side.
You know, they're thinking about India or Salton Sea, and it really doesn't work on this green.
Ooh. Squeezed that one in, Joel.
A lot of white, but he's got it. He'll take his par, head over to the tee at 16. Still only one shot off the lead. And this tap in for birdie for Corey Pavin.
That's your range, huh, Joel?
That's about it. Maybe that's a couple of inches outside of my range, Johnny.
You'd plumb bob that one, though, right?
I'd walk around it for a half hour. Corey Pavin in the tie for the lead now with Mark O'Meara. The dreaded plumb bob. Let's go to 17 of Bob Trumpy.
Thank you, Joel. Raymond Floyd. He's got about 15 feet. John, this is straight downhill, and I've heard you refer to the fall line of greens. He's right on it. This should be a straight putt.
Yeah, I think it's straight or maybe just a tad break to the right. I was out there today. I thought maybe it's pretty straight, like you say, though. But if he hits it easy, he'll lose it right.
For his 8th birdie of the day.
You hate to say he needs it, but he needs it. Moving a little right.
Yeah, it did. It's downhill, and you got to hit it delicately, and it dies right. That's where India and Salton Sea is. Back to Joel Myers.
You saw the approach, Bob, of Scott Hoke. This is what he's got left for birdie. He's trying to move within 2 of the lead.
Very straight putt here. If he... Oh, man, he snaked it.
He told me yesterday at La Quinta that he's been leading the tournament in putts lipping out. Well, it just slid right by the left side. Scott Hoke with a 63 yesterday. A 9 under 63. A dream type of round as Corey Pavin is on the tee now.
Joel, the gallery is so close to the tee here that any little movement will cause a shadow to move over the tee shots here, so they're trying to get the gallery to stand very still here. Big crowd, as Bob Hope mentioned.
Mark, this hole is a little deceiving because it's one of the more difficult tee shots. You'd think it's an easy birdie hole, but it isn't easy until you get that tee shot in the fairway.
You know, I think one way to describe it is awkward. You feel awkward on the tee, Johnny. You know that lake's out there.
Yeah, the problem is you try to draw it and you overdraw it, or you leave it out to the right.
Walking over there. Can you just stand still, please? Sir, just stand.
Most of the players this week have been going with a 3-wood, a driver, and they worry about it either going through the fairway or into the water hazard. Freddie Couples, by the way, at 16, did save par with a nice comeback putt of 6 to 7 feet. Scott Hoke also with a par on the green at 16. We're looking right now at the co-leader, Corey Pavin, tied with Mark O'Meara.
He's got a fairway wood, Joel. Teed it down low. Again, can't get the people to stand still here. They are so close, and a shadow will move over the ball.
Somebody just sneezed. He said, bless you.
I'm surprised he didn't have him a Kleenex.
Well, this is the 3rd time he's backed away, so hopefully he can regroup.
Corey said over the last couple of days, Johnny, that he loves it down here. It reminds him of the courses that he grew up on. Grew up here in Southern California, went to UCLA.
Well, he's a finesse player. You know, they don't come along too often with the great hands, and this guy's got those hands.
Pull this ball to the left, Joel.
Hang on.
Uh-oh. Tried to talk it into the fairway. It did not make it up to the top of the hill. He's left it down a little bit in that slope area.
What do you think, Mark? Do you think maybe backing away a few times there could have thrown him off?
You know, Johnny, he didn't even look ready when he finally hit it to me. You know, it looked like he was waiting for something to happen.
That's too bad.
He's basically in the same area that Fred Couples left his tee shot with.
This hole in 17 is shaped perfectly for Mark O'Meara's game. He hits a little slight draw. That's what you want to do here, is aim down the right center of the fairway and just go ahead and release it normal and let it just drift left.
They like it on the tee.
It's a good one down the left-hand side, just as Johnny described it.
Perfect position. Just made it to the top of the hill. So a great birdie opportunity coming up for Mark O'Meara. And now Tim Simpson.
This one is like very high and going left, Joel. Headed toward Corey Pavin's ball. May catch part of the fairway.
And it did, Mark. But he is still on a slope lie as we head to the tower at 18.
And our first look at this gorgeous finishing hole with the little Santa Rosa Mountains on the right-hand side and the drive of Raymond Floyd.
This is... Ooh. Oh, man. Turned out good. Got a good bounce.
This is the final round, the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic, and we still have 7 players within 4 shots of the lead.
Liberty Mutual presents the automobile accident that never happened, because we continually work to prevent auto accidents and injuries. In helping to pioneer safety belts, Liberty Mutual Insurance helped make driving safer for everyone. Caring for people is why America believes in liberty.
Almost home. America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hello. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm having a dinner party and I've run out of coffee.
Come in.
Thank you.
Would Taster's Choice be too good for your guests?
Oh, I think they could get used to it.
Could they?
Yes.
Savor the sophisticated taste of Taster's Choice.
Have you met your new neighbor yet? Oh, I've popped in for coffee.
You can pound them, you know, hit them hard and go for the kill, or they've got a lot of touch. And I think they're durable. I've buried quite a few wedges and 9-irons into the turf and pulled them back out, and they look the same every time.
Maybe the reason more people switch to Glidden than any other paint.
The Detroit Pistons, the New York Knicks, Lambeer, Ewing, 2 towers of power toe-to-toe in the Big Apple. Will the world champions put the chill into New York's biggest thrill? The NBA on NBC next Sunday.
The final round of the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Let's go to Joe Myers.
The leaders on the fairway at 16, Mark O'Meara, Corey Pavin, Tim Simpson only 1 shot back, and Mark Rolfing's down in the fairway. What type of lies do they have, Mark?
Actually, the only person on the fairway, Joel, is Mark O'Meara.
Right.
Tim Simpson and Corey Pavin have both
Corey,
missed
I
at the
wouldn't be
left.
asking if I didn't have mud on it and it hadn't broken the ground.
Yeah, no, that's fine. At least it looks to me like there's
It came right just like that.
Okay.
Down in that hole.
Hold on. Yeah, okay.
There with
That's
the mud
fine.
on it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Appears to be embedded to me.
Tim Simpson
Just nearest the
obviously
leaf, right?
looking for an embedded ball rule here. And Joel Myers, you're up on top of the clubhouse in your location. You probably cannot see even the top of Tim Simpson right now. I know that he can't see the top of the flag.
Well, he's improved his lie. There's no question about that.
Well, I don't even think, you know, the lie makes that big a difference here, whether it's a flyer lie or a good lie. You know, the real problem here is getting the direction. He can barely see the top of the palm tree, which is a good 30 feet above you, Joel.
What about the limbs, Mark?
I don't think the limb's the problem, Johnny, because he's going to have to take it straight up in the air off the lie anyway. He's got 135 yards.
Big problem is here is if he happened to catch a flyer and go long left, he ended up in the clubhouse.
Yeah, actually, I just heard his caddy, Todd, say he's got 134, which means he's got 110 to the front edge. I would think, if anything, this ball will come up short, Johnny.
Well, this is a good example of when square grooves are a big advantage. In the old days, you were hoping it would jump or maybe play for it not to jump, and it would jump, and then you end up in the clubhouse. So I don't think he's going to have to worry about the flyer part. Just try to put the club face on the ball properly. He's got a good lie. Should make it go left off that stance.
It did that.
He's way left.
Yep.
And just short of the bunker over to the left side of the green. He's in the rough. Just a few feet off the fringe.
It's a hard shot, you know, Mark, because you don't want to aim right at the pin because the bunker's right there, and you need to aim about 12, 15 feet right with that side slope, so he just aimed at the pin, and of course it went left, and he had to pay the price for a poor tee shot.
You know, Johnny, we've talked so much about the low scoring here at Indian Wells, and viewers, I'm sure, would get the impression that it's an easy golf course. Actually, some of these holes are tough driving holes, and you can see what happened here, you know, to both Corey and Tim. Not that bad at tee shots. Corey's quite a bit further left than where Tim was. His ball's sitting down just a little bit more. He's got 130 yards, 105 to the front edge, and he needs to turn it just a little to the left because that palm tree in front of him comes into play definitely. It's a good-looking shot here, just left of the flag.
Well, what a
dynamite shot by Corey Pavin. Definite birdie opportunity as we head to 18.
Raymond Floyd 239 yards away, his second shot at the par 5 finishing hole.
Going right. Going way right.
Look out. Back to the 16th.
That's too bad. Right at the last minute, he said, not in the water.
Co-leader Mark O'Meara. His pitch into the green at 16.
Oh.
Just inside of Corey Pavin. So a little help for Mark O'Meara. He should find out something about his putt when he watches Corey Pavin. Those two tied for the lead in the final round of the Bob Hope.
The Healthcare Revolution by Shearson Lehman Brothers. We believe that the biotechnology research of the last 20 years is about to pay off. In the pipeline are major breakthroughs in the treatment of cancer and genetic diseases, and a synthetic hormone that could eliminate the need for blood transfusions. Which companies could benefit most from the revolution? Talk with us. Shearson Lehman Brothers.
Hey, the booth's come a long way for one day.
Without a hitch.
That's not what I hear.
What?
At the airport, someone swiped your wallet.
Oh, right.
What about your client dinner tonight? You know, you're sitting on the biggest order of the year.
Is Mr. Moore here?